Welcome to Dan Really Likes Wine with Pick and Pay, and welcome to a rather grumpy Dan, because I'm about to drink some wine that will be sampled in even more generous measures with plenty of others at an event I very sadly can't get to. Saturday the 25th of May, so this Saturday, the annual Shiraz and Charcuterie will be taking place. It's a festival at Anthonij Rupert Wine in Franschhoek, and it's a celebration, as the name suggests, of Shiraz and Charcuterie. There'll be some terrific food, people like Neil Jewell doing his acclaimed charcuterie. There'll be a massive harvest table, so loads of great food. But more importantly, for the purpose of this show, there is the fact that there's going to be a huge amount of really, really good Syrah and Shiraz. Unsurprisingly, the Anthonij Rupert team will have their Shiraz there. Waterford will be bringing some of their famous Kevin Arnold Shiraz along. You'll get to try wine from people like Hartenberg and Stark Conde. Hartenberg in particular doing some really, really nice Shiraz at the moment. Their stalk is an absolute delight. And then there is wine from the four guys that we're going to taste today, starting with this one. Now, the Bon Courage estate I've visited on a number of occasions. I love going through. It's just outside of Robertson. They make some terrific, terrific bubbles. I love the Cup Classique they do under their Jacques Brouwer range. And they've got a whole range of other really nice wine. And then they've got this kind of premium label, which they call Inkara. Now, it's got a slight African inflection to it. It sounds like it might be a name from a local community. In fact, Inkara refers to Inga, Karen, and Andre, who are the three children of the current winemaker. So that's the premium range. And this is a premium Shiraz. Now, as always happens with Robertson, premium doesn't mean the pricing is as high as it might be in other parts of the wine world. So this is about 195 rand a bottle or thereabouts from the Robertson estate. And it is one of the wines you're going to be able to taste at Shiraz and Charcuterie this weekend. Lovely, deep, rich colour. Now, we're filming this quite early in the morning, so this is breakfast or thereabouts. And I might not have it as breakfast too often, but I would certainly have it regularly. There's a lovely violet feel to that on the mouth. And you always associate Shiraz with a bit of spice, but that's a slightly sweeter spice and a nice balanced mouthfeel of Shiraz. And it won't be drunk on its own this Saturday, because it'll be drunk in partnership with a whole pile of charcuterie. And I can already visualize large plates of salami being washed down with glasses such as this. There's some great partnerships to be had this Saturday. So this is 195 rand a bottle. It's about 100 rand less than you'll pay for a ticket. It's 295 rand a ticket at Web Tickets, and they're only 700, so it's quite a small and intimate event that Darielle Robertson, the mayor of Franschhoek, has put together, and I don't think there are too many left, and there'll be even fewer once people realise what's up for grabs, including this, and then including something that I'm really looking forward to trying, and that would be this bottle here. This is the Keermont Syrah. So this one is a little bit younger. The previous one was a 16. This is a 14, so just a touch older. And there's always that debate, are Shiraz and Syrah exactly the same thing? Does Syrah mean it's slightly lighter and more elegant? Does Shiraz mean it's a little bit heavier and a little bit stronger? It's an act of semantics most of the time, but occasionally there is that sort of vague distinction. This one, the colour here is just ever so slightly rustier than the red of the preceding Shiraz. Ooh. Again, that's delightful. There's a lovely balance to that, sort of the mulberry-ish type of fruit to it. This has got a tiny little bit of Mourvedre, I think about 3 or 4%, but it's to all intents and purposes a Syrah, and another one on show this weekend. And nice that it's just a little bit older as well. Had a little bit more time to grow into what it's become. What it's become is a lovely example of Stellenbosch Syrah. Not too heavy at all. There's certainly plenty of body and structure, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels like the kind of wine I should be drinking with lots of charcuterie on a Saturday in Franschhoek. Now, the third of these wines is one I really like, and this is wine I feel has kind of got cult status almost in South Africa, The owners, Gerard and Libby, I think the names are, used to live in the suburb of Tamboerskloof. This wine doesn't come from what Cape Townians will know as Tamboerskloof on the side of Table Mountain, but they named their farm and the wine in memory of the great times they'd had in the suburbs before, together with the kids, they moved out to the Stellenbosch area. So Kleinert is the farm, the wines are Tamboerskloof, and this Tamboerskloof Syrah I remember discovering at a restaurant, and I bought it because, oh geez, I didn't even realise they had wine in Tamboerskloof. Well, of course they don't, but it's a wine I've since come to really enjoy. It's a wine I've had a lot of at lunch when I'm eating some red meat with lunch. I'm having a steak at lunch, or duck in fact. I've had a lot of memorable meals, duck with some of this. The bistro in 4th Avenue in Parkhurst, I've had a fair few bottles of this with a duck dish that they do particularly nicely. And what I've always liked about it is that it is full of flavour, but it's just not too heavy. So similar to that Keermont Shiraz. This is a 2015, so it's also got a nice little bit of age in it. Nice dark, this is almost sort of more purplish in colour. As the father of a 4- and a 2-year-old, it's heading more in the Barney spectrum of colours. Videos and programmes for small children become your measuring stick for so much in life when you're the parent of young kids. And again, it's just that lightness. It often takes people by surprise when they have a Syrah or Shiraz that is made in this lighter style, where it's a really nice daytime drink. Sometimes red wine, especially on a hot day, can just be a bit too much. A really big Cab Sav or a really big Bordeaux blend, but something like this at lunch, especially in summer, when you've taken a degree or two off, so it's at French room temperature as opposed to Swartland in summer room temperature, and it's just that little bit cooler without taking away from the flavour or the mouthfeel of the wine. It just adds a little bit to it, slides down beautifully, and makes a lovely, lovely companion to lunch, or again, a lovely companion to that harvest table out at Anthonij Rupert this weekend. Delight, as always. And then to the last bottle, which I've been particularly looking forward to. This is the kind of bottle that should probably come with a security guard. These three are all in about the 200 rand mark or thereabouts. The Bon Courage, 195, so a touch under. The other two, the Keermont, the Tamboerskloof, you're looking at about 210, 220 a bottle, of Cellador or online. But this here is in another bracket entirely. This is about a 750, 800 rand bottle of Syrah. It's the Boschkloof Epilogue, the 2017. Jacques Borman is the guy behind Boschkloof, but it's his son Renan who's become this young rock star of South African wine. You might have heard of his Sons of Sugarland Syrah. That's got utterly cool hipster status as a really fantastic wine. And Renan does have a bit of a thing for Syrahs. His dad does as well. And I remember an interview he did. He spoke about this being made for Syrah fanatics, people who are just really big on this particular grape. And there are a lot of people who have adored it. Greg Sherwood was cartwheeling about the streets of South Kensington, the master of wine, when the notes came out for this, and he had a tasting. Tim Atkin gave 98 points, and I think the first of those was the first time a South African red had got 98 from Tim, and Tim is certainly somebody who knows wine in general and South African wine in particular exceptionally well. So it comes with a great track record. It also puts a little bit of pressure on the 2017. Can the Epilogue live up to previous standings? I haven't tasted it yet, but I've read a couple of guys who reckon that this might be the best yet. Now, it's probably still nowhere near its absolute best. It's only 2 years old. It almost feels a shame to be opening it quite this early, but I'll try and sneak another bottle or two to put away in the cellar for 3 or 4 years' time. But it does mean that this is something that's going to be available to taste this weekend. And to taste a 750, 800 rand bottle of wine is a really unique experience, particularly when it's made by somebody who's got such a feel for Syrah, and in a very short period of time. Renan's got a couple of different projects, but he's making a huge name for himself. The fact that he's now almost being compared with his father, who is himself one of South Africa's finer winemakers. So enough talk. 100% Syrah, so absolutely nothing to take away from the grape and what it has to offer. Ooh, already there's a rich, luscious nose to that. Almost a little bit of toasted marshmallow, which is only a good thing if, like me, you like toasted marshmallows, despite the fact that you've supposedly stopped eating sweets. Oh, that sort of hint of Turkish delight, that real smoothness coming through, that little bit of lavender. Oh, it's just a lovely colour as well. It's got more of a pinkish note to the edges there, and a beautiful, beautiful wine. The challenge, of course, of tasting wine and then doing so to camera is trying to convey exactly what you're getting in the hope that somebody else will see that and think they'll get something similar and want to try it. And with all wines, what I like, somebody else might not, and vice versa. So this is an exception to our general rule, where normally I'm just telling you about stuff that I hopefully like and then send you off to jump online at Pick and Pay or find some wine somewhere else to try and see if you also share my thoughts on it or enjoy it. But this is an opportunity to actually try exactly what I've had. Now, granted, you'll need to be in the broader Franschhoek or Western Cape area to get to it, but I think this Saturday is a lovely opportunity to go to what Darielle reckons is one of her favourite events, and this is from someone who does the Cape Wine Auction and does the Johannesburg Cup Classique Festival and a whole pile of other celebrations of food and wine. The charcuterie will be terrific. It's an industry that's only growing in South Africa, and some of the guys who are going to be producing stuff are doing an exceptional job. The days of just old, slightly stale droivos are long gone. We're now making world-class charcuterie, but it has to be world-class if it's going to keep up with this sort of wine. Throw in the harvest table and the beauty of Anthonij Rupert, which is one of my favourite places to go and drink wine and hang out, and you're in for a really, really good day. So 700 tickets available, 295 Rand each, which for what you're getting is extraordinarily good value. And generally what most people don't know is that Darielle hosts these events wearing nothing but bikini and high heels. So for a former junior Miss South Africa, you've got a fantastic reason to add to those of drinking the wine and trying out the food. So great selection of Syrah and Shiraz. I've really enjoyed all four. This is exceptional. The Tamboerskloof is an old favourite, and my first introduction to the particular vintages of the Keermont and the Courage from Robertson have been most welcome indeed. There's a whole pile of other estates, the Waterford, the guys are going to be there from Stark Conde, you'll see wine from Hartenberg, Anthony Rupert, amongst a whole pile of others. Get out there if you can and enjoy the Syrah, the Shiraz, the charcuterie, and the enjoyment of some really outstanding South African wine. Cheers.